Welcome to Yoga with Tansy. This is a class that's specifically designed for tennis players. Well done, guys, that you are doing yoga. It's a fantastic complement to your sport. You need a lot of flexibility and your body's under a lot of pressure at extremes of motion, and doing yoga is really going to help you both with that range of motion and with that strength. For props today, I have a tennis racket. So have your racket to hand, we'll use it in due course. First of all, coming into downward dog from all fours, take your hands a little bit further away from you, tuck your toes under, bring your outer hips high, and we're going to start by stretching right down the back of the leg. On your exhale, push into one heel, inhale here, and on your next exhale, push into the other heel. Inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale again. And then from here, drop your knees to the mat, lower down onto your front, arms along your side. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders in your right leg. Exhale, back down. Inhale, head, shoulders in your left leg. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale it back down. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lift both legs. Take your hands underneath your armpits. Tuck your toes under. Return to downward dog. We want to get a nice stretch here for the hamstrings, really important. So bend your knees. Take your outer hips even higher. And then start to straighten out the legs. Let the heels come more towards your mat. You should feel that. Maybe around the backs of the knees, maybe right down through the calves. And then dropping the knees to the floor. Come to sitting, any position you like. I'm going to get a little stretch for the tops of my feet by sitting with my knees together. I'm sitting on my heels. Take your racket in your hand that you serve with. So you're going to serve. And then bring it behind you and point the racket head up. Now it's like this. And then take your other hand to the top of the racket and start to move the hands towards each other. Holding on somewhere that you'll be able to hold. You just want something that's not so difficult that you can't really stay there and breathe. And then finish your exhale. And inhale for a count of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale to 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale to 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale to 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep your arms as they are. Don't release yet. Just come back to your normal breath. So what we're doing here is really focusing on the bottom shoulder. It's so important to maintain the ability for your shoulder to make this shape. Often with tennis players, you lose that ability. And with a counted breath, we're working on being able to bring your mind and keep it in the present moment. So focusing on the breathing as a way of finding and staying in the present moment, which is really important mental training for your tennis. Last breath on this side. We're going to come over to a shorter hold on the other side. Releasing. This time, tennis racket's not in your serving hand, it's in the other hand. Pop it so it faces up. Racket head faces up. Other arm comes over. Work towards each other. Hold on to something. Pull the top elbow up. Coming to sitting. Finish your exhale. Shorter hold. Inhale for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then pop your racket down for the time being. And we're going to keep going with some dynamic movement, building resilience in the muscles and flexibility and strength. So working with me here, yogis, bring your right leg up and then swing it through so that your knee comes into your chest. At the same time, bring your shoulders over your wrists. And then let's go back up. And another one, knee into chest, shoulders over wrists. Leg goes back up. Third time, knee into chest, and then flick the foot forward, drop the back heel. Inhale, warrior 2. Stop here for a moment and look at your alignment. Really important way that we can use the yoga is to build precision in the way that the body moves and a good knowledge and practice of good alignment. So check that your knee in particular, we do not want it falling to the side. Pull it around towards the little toe side. And then taking your front elbow to your front knee. Back arm comes overhead. Get a lovely stretch into the side body. Should feel really good. And then from here, take your hands down to the floor. Back knee comes to the mat. Pull the back foot in. You've got your right foot forward. Take your right hand back and see if you can grab that right foot. Pull it in towards you and you're going to get a quadricep stretch there. Keep pulling the foot in towards you until you get sensation in the muscle. So you want to feel it. There will be some level of discomfort, but any strong pain, sharp pain, you need to back out or even come out of the pose. Good. And then releasing that foot, take both your hands down, tuck your back toes under, add the hips high, returning to downward dog. Pick up your left foot, bring it high, and then bring the left knee into the chest as the shoulders come over the wrists. Back up. Knee into chest, leg back up. One more. Take the leg high, and then swinging it through. The foot's pointing straight forward. Check that. Drop the bottom heel to the mat and inhale into warrior 2. And check everything here on your mat. Check you've set yourself up properly. Front foot needs to point exactly forward. Knee tracks in line with the second toe. Arms are horizontal. And then taking your front elbow to your front knee, back arm comes overhead, side body stretch. You feel it maybe in the top outer hip, building strength in the quadricep. And then taking the hands down next to the front foot, drop your right knee to the mat, pull the foot in towards you and take your left hand around. Grab the foot if you can, and if you can't, no problem at all, just keep pulling the foot back in towards you. Keeping the chest open, nice and long through the spine. And be aware of your breathing. Really lovely stretch for the quadricep. And then releasing the foot. Take both hands to the mat, tuck the back toe under, outer hips high, returning to downward dog. From here, tiptoe your feet in towards your hands, feet hip distance apart, bend your knees, let your pelvis hinge forward, take your elbows, let the head be heavy. Nice opportunity to traction the spine. A reasonably significant portion of tennis players who are playing on the tour have back problems, specifically lower back frequently, but anything we can do to improve the long-term health of the spine is going to be beneficial for your long-term ability to keep playing your sport. So here, we're trying to open up space between the vertebrae, counter all the compression that's happening as you're playing. Gravity and all the movement is pressing downwards on the spine. So really looking to counter that here. So really heavy in the head. If there's anything you can do to improve that, maybe you want to take your hands onto the back of your skull, just pulling downwards. On the next inhale, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, folding forward again. And here, maybe the legs are a little bit straighter. Just a gentle stretch maybe for the lower back and improving the length in the hamstring. So all of this is designed to help you keep your lower back safe and healthy. Again, inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. This time, inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale your arms down to your side. Inhale the arms up again. On the exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine. Taking your hands to the floor, step back so that you're in plank. And then make a good decision about whether you can keep this nice straight line in your plank, or whether you would be better off to take your knees down onto the mat, pull your belly button upwards, really focus here on strengthening the abdominal muscles. Keep pressing the floor away. Feel open across the chest. Feel like your head's in line with your spine. Just another couple of breaths here. And then from here, take your knees down, lower to the floor. Arms alongside you if you can. Clasp your hands behind you, otherwise palms face in. Spin the inner thighs up and lift. We're going to hold here in locust pose. Keep lifting the legs, keep lifting the shoulders. Keep opening through the chest. And see if you can find your breath again here. So now we're balancing the body by developing the strength in the back and in the backs of the legs. Another couple of breaths here. Again, feel very open across the chest. Maybe lift the legs a little bit higher. Keep lifting the hands. And then bring the hands down. Outer hips high. For a moment, come into child's pose, which is another nice gentle stretch for the lower back. Get a good breath right into the belly here. And then pressing up, come to sitting. Sitting sideways on your mat like I am, so that your heels are padded. And if you've got people around you, so that you can all fit. legs wide, we're stretching the adductors, so these big muscles on the insides of your thighs. And then looking to get at the QL muscle on the side of the lower back, walking yourself around so your belly button aligns or coming towards your right thigh. And maybe taking your left hand to the thigh there. You can start to hinge forward a little bit from the pelvis as you continue to press the left sitting bone down. Stay really long in the spine. So you don't want to just collapse downwards like this. I'm really not getting much out of this sort of a shape. Lengthen through the spine. Should just have a very natural curve to it, like the long side of an egg. Keep pulling the toes back towards your shins, keeping the legs active. And then inhale back up, walking through center and over to the other side. Pressing down evenly through the sitting bones, take your right hand somewhere on that left leg. Maybe you tip the pelvis forward a bit if that's available to you, or you stay more upright. You might feel some nice rotation in the spine. And then coming back to center. Either staying here, maybe with your hands behind you, just helping you to lengthen upwards, lengthen up through the lower back. Or maybe you can hinge the hips forward a little bit. Just coming to wherever gives you a good stretch into the adductors. So wherever you are, just be in the right place for you. One more breath here. And then coming back up. Take your hands underneath your knees. Pull your legs up. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop wide. Won't be here for too long, but this is just a groin stretch. So really looking at trying to get a good balanced workout through this yoga class, stretching out all the major muscle groups, keeping you supple and flexible for your sport. The same as before, feel like you're lengthening upwards, in particular in the lower back, and if having your hands behind you helps with that, do that. If you can hinge the hips forward, hinge the hips forward. Finish your exhale here. And then inhale back up. Coming into a seated twist. Take your right leg out in front of you, bring the left leg over the top. If you want more of a hip stretch to add into this, then take this outstretched ankle in beside the opposite hip. Inhale, make space between the vertebrae by growing taller, and on the exhale, rotate the spine around towards your left. Forearm, maybe elbow might come to the outside of that top knee and forearm might point up, and it gives you a little bit of a lever there to keep that rotation through the spine. So again, this is something that's really, really lovely for the long-term health of your spine. So it's something that's very, very beneficial for you as a tennis player. Coming back to center. Swapping over the legs. So you may have this bottom leg out in front of you, especially if you've got any knee issues. So if it hurts the knee to have it in this funny torqued position, don't do it. Leg straight, you still get the same rotation. Starting again with the inhale, exhaling around. Both sitting bones stay on the mat. And it's from the belly button up, really, that you're rotating. Coming back to center. Have your tennis racket nearby again. Coming to lying on your back. We'll just quickly create a little bit of heat because we've been still for a little while. Extend your right leg long. Left knee comes into the chest. Hands behind your head and take your right elbow to your left knee. And then we're going to swap. It's twisty bicycles. So long straight leg hovers off the ground and then you take elbow to opposite knee. See how fast you can go. Good. And then reach out for your tennis racket. You're going to take your left leg along the mat, right leg high. Take the tennis racket behind the thigh. We're getting a hamstring stretch here. You can pull the racket in to get more of a stretch. So focusing firstly on stretching. Bring your attention to your belly. Just watch for a moment as it rises and falls with the breath. And then from here, keep pulling the tennis racket in towards you, and then at the same time, press your thigh strongly into the tennis racket so that you're strengthening the hamstring. Take your heel up towards the sky, and then coming back to the breath. Watch the belly rise and fall. Put your tennis racket down. Bend the bottom leg so the sole of the foot comes to the floor. Take your top right ankle to that left knee and then reach through behind the left thigh or shin for a stretch for the outer hip and glutes. Keep the shoulders relaxed and keep the toes pulling in towards your shins. Keeps your knee safe here. You want the movement to come from the hip rather than from the knee twisting in a weird way. And then take that right leg long. Left leg's coming high. Grab the tennis racket again, take it against the thigh. To start with, you're just pulling that leg in. Find the breath and watch the belly rise and fall. And then here looking for just a little bit more strengthening. Keep pulling the racket in towards you as you really counter that by pushing the thigh into the racket. And taking a little bit of that pressure off, come back to watching the belly rising and falling. Last breath here. Bend your right leg, bring the sole of the foot to the floor, put your tennis racket down. Take that left ankle to your right knee, reach through behind the right thigh or behind the right shin, pull that towards you. And back in that lovely stretch in the outer hip. Shoulders stay on the floor here, head stays on the floor. Shoulders stay relaxed. And tune back into the breathing. Last breath here, make it a really conscious one. Make sure you watch as on the inhale, the air comes into the belly goes up towards the ceiling. Slowing down the exhale. Taking the soles of both feet to the floor. Arms out to your sides. Keep your shoulders down as you just drop your knees to one side and then to the other. Just gently windscreen wipering the legs. Looking to unwind any remaining tension in your lower back. And then we're going to come to from here to our final relaxation, where we're developing mental focus. So for 10 breaths, we're going to watch nothing but the breath. First of all, straighten out the legs. Bring your arms just slightly out from your body, palms facing up. Find the breath and then watch 10 breaths. And if your mind starts to think about something else, just come straight back to the breathing. When you've finished your 10 breaths, rolling to your side, press up to sitting. Thank you so much for joining me for yoga. Enjoy your tennis.